Gotta tell you, like, this demo is taking time. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Like, the game is cool. It's just, yeah, it's really long. Because we are still doing the spring. We're still doing the spring. And I don't even know if you do not have, like, the others. And it's taking a lot of time. A crunch of gravel, a cough of the engine, then the cheerful beep of the side door as Cam hit the button to slide it open. Alright kids, let's roll. Deja led the way, checking her phone a few times before raising her head to admire the distant storefronts. You went not too far behind, with Cameron and Jamie on your heels. Where to first? Hold up, Irina, freeze. You stop mid-stride, arms and legs hanging perfectly still, but you dare to look back, seeing Cameron's pointing down at the sidewalk. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. Hello? What is he talking about? If Cam was having fun, you could too. You were feeling better about coming downtown now, so you joined it in. It's not that I'm not feeling, I just don't understand. What? Set your foot down carefully on the other side of the crack. That was all you were willing to do, and you glanced at them a little meaningfully as you didn't take another hoop. Good. Good enough. The spines of mothers all over the world. Thank you. Your turn, Jamie Reno. Standing a yard or two back, Jamie tilted his head in tiny increments. First one step, then the other. This is hopscotch. He pronounced the word delicately, his fluid accent becoming a touch more pronounced. Cam gave an encouraging nod. Pretty much, just without shock. Come on over, Red Rover. That's not necessarily confusing at all. So why are we doing this now? It rhymed. I had no choice. It's just because he's having fun or something. I don't know. It's just, what? Deja snorted softly, and you stepped back to make a little room as Cam waved to Jamie once more. It was still a little bizarre how easily Cameron could be themselves around Jamie. You had half an explanation thanks to Raina's barbecue, but that just left you wanting to know the other half. Yeah, it's like I always feel like it's like we already knew Cameron, but I had like at the same time I feel like I know nothing about him, you know. And what's this about doing it with style? Because for instance with Deja I feel like it's different because when we were talking with Jamie and Reina, we kind of talked about how Deja is, and she's like a hardworking person, and she's like this, and likes to do things in this way, and so it's like you got a little bit more of background. With Cameron, I'm very much like I know nothing. I just know that he tends to be a bit of an anxious type of person. Just that, you know. You know, put your own spine on it. Find your flavor. Really tickle your balls about it. Yeah, what they said. For a moment, Jamie looked as if he was about to ask another question. Instead, he shrugged his shoulders to loosen them, then proceeded to hopscotch his way over to the rest of you. His gait was a little awkward thanks to the careful way he landed each hop in the exact center of every sidewalk square. Through it all, his hands stayed in his pockets and his face remained placid. When he landed on the square in front of Cameron, he finally smiled again, expectantly, with just a touch of his typical self-satisfaction. There, how was that? bog standard. Cameron verged on a pout, their earlier embarrassment forgotten as they pointed pleadingly back up the sidewalk. Go again, with feeling this time. No, please, no. Cameron. Jamie's smile brightened to something truly happy, his eyes lighting gently with comfortable cheer. No. Ow. Cameron's energy was nonetheless infectious. As you all fell into step down the sidewalk, you each silently continued to avoid cracks in the concrete. You passed a certain store, the small establishment lit cozily by lamplight. The table behind the front window stacked edge to edge with piles of notebooks, planners, and stationery kits. Since she was leading the pack, you could see the determined set to Dash's shoulders as she walked firmly by. Behind you, Cameron gave an impressed hoot. Dee, not gonna look around while we're here? Cameron. She's see, this is why reading raw, it's like this. She stopped and turned back, looking uncharacteristically conflicted as she clutched her hands to her chest. A tightly controlled, terse shake of her head, as if she was fighting to hold herself still. I can't, not again. I bought so much last time I was here. I think I funded their children's college tuitions several times over. It was worth it though, huh? It was. She answered without hesitation, then took a painful step away, and another, then another, as the distance eased the temptation in her heart. You go here often? More than I should, yes. I've never seen you in here. Bad timing, I guess. Oh. She stopped again, this time out of curiosity. Swiveling, she turned to where Jamie was looking idly through the shop's window, reevaluating him with her weight shifted to one side. I haven't seen you in here before either. What's your poison? Dash's is all the pastel highlighters. Slander. What's the point if you don't have a full set? Wax seals. Oh, funny. Funny. I mean, maybe I do kind of like connect more with him because he's supposed to be like French or something. So isn't he? Like, he probably comes from Europe or something. You blinked, even with Deja and her considered stack of supplies for roommates. That was an unexpected answer. For an American, right? Yeah. Seals, plural. I bought one. Then suddenly I had a collection. I don't even use them. Because you have no friends to write to? No, because I just write emails. I don't know. He bit off his words and gave Deja a testy look. You are effing with me. He's learning how grand. Jamie rolled his eyes but backed off and turned to you, passing the ball smoothly into your court. And you, Irina, what do you shop for? When it came to your downtown shopping habits, I ended up what? Art supply store. Not really. I'm not good with drawing and art in general. I do like it. I do get like pencils and stuff like that. Sometimes I like to do some coloring and stuff. But I mean, not the fancy salts and spices boutique. Who is this person that likes the salts and spices though? The record store. The record store. Yeah, that would not happen. We do not have record stores in here. We used to have them. You do not have them anymore. I mean, you may have them in the capital. Even in the capital, probably won't have. I know you do have in there, okay? Because I went to some. In America, you have this kind of reselling garage kind of thing. So you also have like record stores that sell like music and vinyls and stuff like that. In here is no, you don't have that. We do not have like garage sales going on here. You have one place or another, but it's just very hard for you to find that. So and when you have like, yeah, it's more like a general thing. It's very, yeah, nah. No, record store, no, you don't. No. Toy shop. Okay. I'm not going to the toy shop either, so I don't know. Somewhere? What does that mean? It means she doesn't really stick around if we're not there. It's a nice place for what it's worth, just not quite for me. But hang on, I'm still thinking about how we've apparently missed you every time we come here. Well, it's not like I stand in the middle of the street waiting to be recognized. Still, I should have seen you at the community garden at least once. What about the photo shoot alleyway? The frozen ZP? Tell me you know Nina at least. What is the ZP and why is it frozen? It's essentially an ice cream truck. It's cute. They've got a song and everything. It goes like do 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 do. I don't know, maybe something like that. And they do seasonal flavors instead of all the traditional ones. Such as? We should go see. And what's Nina? Oh, Nina's a dog? The dog. We see her sometimes. She just wanders around between all the shops. Oh, a terrier with one brown ear, one black. Yeah, that's... Wait, so you do know Nina? I just call her dog. Kind of like me with my hamster. Like Jamie's so funny. It's kind of like me with my hamster, which is like, what is the name of your hamster? It doesn't have one. It's just a hamster. It's just like that. Oh god. He said it as blandly as possible, and now it was the three of you's turn to stare. You do mean the one that lives at the thrift? Is it thrift or thrift? Thrift shop. I don't know, right? I should measure. I should look into it because the next time I get it, I know how to say it. Wait, give me just a moment.
Thrift.
Okay, it's thrift. Okay, I don't know when I need to open or not. Okay, thrift. So I should mention. Towing casually at the sidewalk with one foot, you clicked your tongue once, sucking in a slow breath as you put together a belated explanation. I may have also met Nina at the thrift shop. That time I was out with Reina. What? Irina, and you didn't text us immediately? Oh my god, why? It genuinely slipped my mind, honestly, but we can go meet her now, so... Honestly, finding her at her owner's shop is a fairly rare occurrence. It'll be interesting to see if it happened again. Don't get me wrong, ice cream's fine too. I'm fine with both, so I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I don't know, something. Jamie shrugged and spun on his heel, turning to take the lead of your group. Come on, then. Well, Watson, shall we? You cut across the corner of the outer downtown area, arcing away from arching away from the center. It's not making sense to me. Okay, from the center square as you made for a row of older buildings. It was the same path you followed with Reina, leading you to the same storefront decorated with lavender and sage. Right? Sage. I'm so bad with this because I forget. Like, I know, and then with time, because I talk other.
Sage.
Oh, that had nothing to do with one another. Sage. Okay. Because like this is like an issue that I have because I talk in other languages, and then this gets really complicated on my mind with the Japanese and the French and the Spanish and the Portuguese, and it gets really complicated. And I'm kind of thinking about also learning the Dutch too, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, I'm still thinking about it because I'm thinking about maybe going in there. So it's like it starts going into a mess inside of my head, and then this happens like quite a lot. By now the flower boxes were filling out nicely, rustling with sprays of pastel colors as you drew close. You hadn't gotten a great look at the sign last time, but now you glanced up, noting the name cast in iron letters overhead. Sheffields. Yep, this is the place. I swear I've been here so many times and I have never seen Nina here. You just have to ask. Jamie pulled the door open, unleashing a merry jingle of bells overhead. Stepping back, the gesture lightly for you to go ahead, and so you did, with Dash and Cam quickly on your heels. The interior was a colorful, organized storm as always, the clothing and paraphernalia arranged in a way that just managed to feel snug rather than claustrophobic. Welcome in. Behind the counter, the same middle-aged woman as before fluttered her fingers in greeting, her eyes sparkling with recognition as she set eyes on your group. A middle-aged clerk with bright, curly red velvet hair greeted you amicably from the counter. As the four of you wandered further into the crowded store, she set eyes on one of you in particular. Jamie, sweetheart. Hello, Mikaline. What I'll say? I prefer Mikaline to Mickey. Well, Mickey's telling you she prefers Mickey to Mikaline, so there. Mikaline, or Mickey it seemed, flapped her hand, dismissing Jamie's polite obstinacy with familiar ease. She turned the gesture into a wave for the rest of you too, smiling brightly as she did. Now, sweetheart, I've seen you in here before with Reina, haven't I? I'm so sorry, but I think I didn't catch your name that time. It's Irina, hi again. Cameron piped up with a little hello of their own, and Deja followed suit. Is your dog here today? Not right now. She's busy making the rounds. Busy. She might actually be with Cecile. But... Cecily. But I remember her saying they banned her from the conservatory. But you are her owner. As long as we're talking about this dog... She pointed at a framed picture on the counter in which a small flop-eared terrier chased after a spray of water from a hose. Then, yep, you got me. Nice to meet you. Likewise. Why does your dog wander around so much? Man, your dog would wander around in here and you would not have a dog anymore. Yeah, that would happen. Because or someone would take it, or they would just take him to the I don't know, how do you call it, you know, that spot where the dogs are kept, dog shelter, whatever, I don't know, dog shelter maybe, I think you have another name. Yeah, it would be like that. Is it safe for her to walk around the city alone? What's her name? She's not going to tell us. Why is the shop named Sheffields? You didn't have any question. Why does your dog wander around so much? I mean, is it safe? I would put it more like, why do you let her just walk around everywhere? I don't know. Oh, safest houses for the most part. She's a good gal, waits for crosswalks and everything, and she's got her tags on. If people don't recognize her right away, they figure it out pretty easy. It helps that there aren't many cars in Fairfield, especially down this stretch of road. I've seen her knock on doors when it starts raining too. She learned that one pretty quick. Puddles aren't her favorite. I don't know. I walk her everywhere as a puppy, and she got to know all the other shops and people here. Then my hours here got longer, and I couldn't bear to keep her cooped up all day. Thankfully, she's a smart girl. She just started walking by herself, takes her own leash and everything. She was always so friendly to people too. I made sure to teach her not to take food from strangers though. Other than that, once she realized she could get belly rubs, she turned into a real socialite. It's not going to tell the name. Okay, original owner's name, I think. I took it over from someone who took over from someone else who, well, you get the point. So you've been around a while then. The store, yes, me. I feel like I've only just settled in. But I suppose you lot aren't any less fresh-faced than me. You'll all be out of here in a few years, I bet. What's her name? She's not going to say. You know, I kind of like hearing all the names you kids come up with for her every year. What do you call her? Nina. Hey, that's a cute one. Better than Jamie's at least. It's descriptive. It's literally dog. Would you like it if I called you person? Don't answer that. That's all you wanted to know for now. Anyhow, please feel free to browse. We've got a kitchen sink in here somewhere if you feel up to finding it. That seemed to be Micheline's way of telling you to take your time. Turning your head, you realize Cameron had immediately accepted by disappearing between two racks of vintage clothing. I wouldn't mind looking around a while, Irina. Deja scanned the walls thoughtfully, her arms crossed loosely. You could hear the gears in her head turning already, comparing each piece to the furniture already in your apartment. What to do? Well, if Deja was thinking of decorating the apartment, you intended to help. Jamie had disappeared too. Where did he go? You wanted to see what car camera... Okay, this is for us to start choosing the person, right? And I really wouldn't mind to stay with Deja. But as I told you the other time, since I'm doing like otome games, I kind of want to stick probably with the guys. I don't know. Stretching onto... This is not just an... Okay, this is open. What I am saying is that all of these demos that I picked, they were categorized as otome games, although they are also open to the other genders. Okay, it's just that. But I'm going to reach a point where I want to get into the other categories too. Okay, it's just that. Stretching onto your toes, you spotted Jamie in the far corner with his back turned. You sidled through the clothing racks to join him, letting the hangers rattle so he could hear you coming. Anything good? He moved slightly aside to make room for you, humming noncommittedly below his breath. In front of him was a stand full of of prints and paintings sleeved in plastic. Not yet. You watch it as Jamie flicked through a few pieces, this motion simple and sharp as he worked his way through the stack. You sure you're not looking for something specific? He is looking into something specific. People like us are always looking into something specific that we are not finding. He shook his head lightly, his eyes still lowered. Not particularly. Yeah. We are looking, it's just that we're not finding. You hummed and watched him flip through a few more prints unless we found it. But since you are next to him, he doesn't want to show. That's also another point. Yeah. It also happens to us. You hummed and watched him flip through a few more prints, making a quiet comment here or there. He paused to let you give your opinion each time, eventually relaxing and moving at a slower pace. When he spoke up again, it was softer, as if he was letting an errant thought slip loose. I like to see what the possibilities are, I suppose. Decorating is not my forte. Psst. Cameron's head popped up amidst the clothing racks behind you. With a clatter of hangers, they promptly lifted a glittery lime green cardigan high overhead. Who wants to help me style this? You heard Deja bite back a clear laugh. What on earth is that? It's your inspiration. Build me an outfit, everyone. Chop chop. Even McAlpine joined in with a bubbly laugh, giving you all an encouraging wave as you split up to score the store. For 5 minutes, according to Cameron's whims. Time was of the essence. You know what? Yeah, this was getting fun. You jumped right into the fray. You'll play along at least for 5 minutes. It was the least you could do. You just let the clock run down. I'm going to do it. Deja and Jamie seemed intent on finding other articles of clothing. We do not have time for this, though. We need to study. It's just that's the only thing that is worrying me. That left you to find an accessory. No, the accessory. Digging through a few boxes, you decided to take the pair of oversized bright yellow rain boots. That would be cool to match. The comically small cowboy hat with attached jean strap. Okay. The tartan infinity scarf with a double row of fringes. I think I like the rain boots the most because of the matching of the colors. Time's up. Mickey, can I use the dressing room? Collecting each of your contributions, Cam disappeared behind the curtain. You, Deja, and Jamie waited a short distance away while they shuffled around out of sight. What the... Who gave me this shirt? Guilty. Jamie kept his eyes on his phone, seemingly content to wait however long was necessary before seeing what he wrought. Well, you could have picked something that fit, okay? One more second, let me... God. They trailed off before the curtain flew back with a dramatic flourish. Cameron's earlier shyness had entirely faded, and now they leaned against the wall with one arm flung up against it. They call me fashion. It's a pity that we're not seeing. Actually, I would say that... I would actually really say that my issue with this game has been... We haven't been getting CGs, have we? Now that I think about, we had some photos. We had some photos, right? But we're not getting CGs. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that, but now I'm really feeling the weight of it. It's like, yeah, we're not getting that. Because I feel like this game is very... It takes you a lot of like imagination. It's the same thing when we were playing the mini games. There's a lot of internal visualization going on in here. Internal visualization. with the festival and the games, even like in this little like what was the name of like the jumping on the sidewalk or something, I don't know. Like there's a lot of visualization going on in here, and although it's a visual novel, I'm not getting the visuals of it, you know. And I would say that's the thing that I feel like this game lacks the most, which is like it appeals a lot for the internal visualization, but it doesn't give you a lot of the visualization of it in itself. Yeah, I would say like that's for me the flaw on it, I would say. Yeah, they call me fashion. You left. Okay. It was just too much. You lifted a hand quickly to stifle your laughter, but you couldn't resist letting out one good, sputtering guffaw at the sight. Hey, this is your creation you're laughing at. The metallic sequins sewn onto the cardigan flashed and rattled as Cameron gestured grandly for you to drink it in the sight. Things only went hurtling downhill from there. Oh, you're rocking it. I regret nothing. Deja offered her feedback from behind her painted nails, which were pressed softly over her grin. Her other hand rose gracefully, pointer fingers out, and she twirled her wrist in a silent request. Thank you, thank you. Cameron spun at once, showing off the too long royal blue velour track pants your roommate had selected, the ends of which were stuffed into your chosen rain boots. In a glorious clash of color. I can't believe you actually got into it. Was what Jamie said next, his arms crossed and his face a still mask. His placid mannerism was almost perfect, but for the occasional wobble to his mouth when he breathed out. You issued me a challenge, Jamie Porter, and I never back down from challenges. Cameron pointed an accusing finger at him, which did nothing to alleviate the strain of the baby pink crop top that sat on top of their usual shirt. The fit was so tight that they were standing like a teddy bear, shoulders hiked up thanks to the fabric bunching under their armpits. It shouldn't have been adorable, and yet it was. Yeah, there's a lot of visualization, internal visualization in here. It's just a lot. We've made them too strong. We're doomed. I mean, it's funny, but you kind of have to internally visualize it, you know? It's just that. Oh, you're just jealous, crap. Their yelp came right as a seam ripped somewhere, and the game came to an... I was expecting this. I was absolutely expecting this since we got ourselves into this. I was like, yeah, this is going to happen. As Cam somehow extracted themselves from their improvised outfit to apologize profusely to Micheline. Yeah. Sorry, I'll buy it, promise. As they bustled over to settle up, the other three of you drifted back to the shop's entrance at Deja's mild insistence. I just realized we didn't even meet Nina. Should we go out and find her? If we've got the time, I suppose. Oh, so this time we have like a fair going on in here. Soon you were meandering down the street once more, taking up a friendly debate about film and television adaptations. You didn't like that one. I thought it was pretty good. Oh my god, we've been having really bad adaptations lately, and I don't even want to think about it. Yeah, times change. I don't know. But we've been having like really, I would say like, I don't know, like bad adaptations really. I haven't been going to the theater in ages, and I really don't even have like, I don't even feel compelled to do it. That's it for me lately. Visual effects can only compensate for so much. The real question is, do you read the original before going to see it? You open your mouth to chime in, but stopped as you realized you heard something. And it's not only that, it's like lately, I've been feeling like we pass more time looking into very brief and immediate type of information, like, short videos, TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that, then actually we feel compelled to watch like a 2 hours kind of movie thing. It's been kind of like a lot more like that. I think it's also because our generation is kind of like changing, so I don't feel like movies have the same weight as they used to have. Kind of feels like that. And even like the TV series and all, sometimes I feel like because or they are like really good in terms of everything, production and everything, and the direction and all of it, or most of the time scripts are not good. I wouldn't say the production, because we have really good productions out there, but usually it's more like the scripts are not good, or sometimes they put like a ton of fillers in there until we reach what is important. It's just Hey, what's going on over there? Up ahead was the muffled flow of multi-layered conversation, interwoven with distant music and the rustle and snap of canvas overhangs in the breeze. Deja, Cameron, Jamie paused to listen as well, and you all leaned over to peek around the corner of the next crosswalk. That's what I was like, it's sidewalk? See, like this... this is my issue. Sometimes like the word doesn't come. Whoa, how do we miss this? A double row of tents stretched down the city center, capped at the far end by the traffic barrier, and a small stage. Residents and students alike browsed, chattered, and laughed as they miled to and fro. Looks like a festival. I mean, it looks like a fair, Look up there. You follow his gaze back to the stage, where a guitarist provided an idle acoustic backdrop to the whole event. Above, a banner advertised a 2-day craft fair sponsored by and for local businesses. Wait a sec, there are clubs here too. Cameron pointed to Rim's mayor's colors painted on a few signs and booths. Attendees at one such booth were decorating cupcakes, those at another folding paper flowers, and at the third weaving. So that's why campus is so quiet today. I wonder when this was all organized? Pretty recent, I think. It wasn't advertised in any newsletter until a week or two ago at most. Something about Deja Stone gave you pause. She was searching the scene with specific intent, ignoring the booth's contents, in a way that reminded you an awful lot of the barbecue. There was one difference, which you noticed only by dint of being her roommate. Yes, she was watching as if to check things were running smoothly, but she was wary, almost as if... Deja, is this? Your roommate's smile was iced with sweet with sweet intentions. It clicked. Deja had known the fair would be here, but... And here was the important bit. She didn't want to be here as an SGP member for once. Whatever the reason, unfortunately, Deja Lamare had a reputation for never ever taking a break. Deja, thank God you're here. Walk faster. Before you could move, a vaguely familiar student wearing bright pink leggings leaped into your path, reaching out to grab Deja dramatically by the shirt. Deja neatly sidestepped, and as the student caught her balance, you noted her bedazzled name tag. That explained the familiarity. You'd seen her a few times at the events that Deja had helped manage. You weren't really acquainted, It was just that. Between the highlighter tones of her outfit and her ability to speak in all caps, it was easy to recognize her as one of CGB's more outgoing students. It happened. What? Queen? Queen? Is that Queen? I don't know. What happened? Is it Queen? I have no idea. My fortune teller told me it would. My fortune teller told me it would, but everyone else on the board said we'll have enough, but we are in fact completely out. We are out. Out of sequins. After that particularly piteous wail, she paused for breath. Silence settled like powdered snow for all of 2 seconds, as each of you blinked slowly at her. And this is a problem because, Deja, please, the fact that the problem exists at all means I failed as the event organizer. You know, I've been planning this fair for months. Oh my god, there's always going to be, like, it's the perfectionist that is working on people. And this is why I was telling you that as years go by, you start accepting things in another level. Unless you don't want to. Unless you just want to be like a person with morbid anxiety, okay? Otherwise, you start looking into things in a way which is like, yeah, we know things are not going to be perfect. Things are going to happen, and we need to accept that. You know, we need. You looked carefully to one side, trying to catch Cameron's eye. Your suspicions that Deja had known about this fair all along seemed more plausible by the second. Calm, unfortunately, was too busy hiding behind Jamie. The two of them had promptly taken 3 large strides backward upon Queen's, I'm going to call her Queen's, I don't know, arrival, trying to look as uninvolved as possible. That left you next to your roommate, not that you needed to speak up anytime soon. Queen's distress, like, this happens a lot, especially when sometimes I pronounce the words in a wrong way because there's like a mix of, like, should I put the accent in here or there, because, you know, sometimes they have like other meanings. But when it's like a word, like in this case, like a name that I've never saw, I don't know how to say it. So I just say it in the way that I think I should say it. I have no idea how to say this. Queen's distress seemed largely focused on Deja and Deja alone. Be reasonable. If you really need more sequins, you can go buy them. Let me get this right. This is how I end up knowing. It's really bad for you though, because you're like here having to deal with me. So Queen, right? Yeah, Queen. I think it's Queen that they say that it's pronounced. Let me see if I'm not saying this one either in the wrong way.
Sequins.
Oh, sequence. So it's sequence. I was like, sequence? Okay. Sequence. Okay. It's like a sequence. Like you have like a lot of this. Like you have the 10 of words that just, or they are written in the same way, or they just sound in the kind of like the exact same way. It's so funny at the same time, so difficult for a person that is not a native one. Yeah, I could, if I hadn't lost my wallet, and if we weren't understaffed, and if we had enough budget left over, and if everyone who needs more would stop asking me when we're getting more. How many clubs asked you for sequins? All of them. There was surely an exaggeration, but before you could try to point that out, Queen latched onto Deja's arm, turning at the last second to wave frantically with her other hand. Oh, hi Cameron. Hi Irina. You waved a little back out of confusion more than anything. You didn't recall ever introducing yourself to her, but of course there was no time to ask. I'll bring her back to you, I promise. Oh my god. Sorry, Deja. I wanted to save you, but I don't think I'm capable. She's like, ah. And she dove between two tightly spaced tents, dragging Deja along into the next aisle and beyond. Mew? To make matters worse, when you turned to ask what that had been about, Jamie and Cameron were both gone. Now, what were you supposed to do? Okay, we're doing Jamie, right? How was it even possible to lose a guy his height? I don't know. I don't know how tall he is. I hope he's not really tall because I am tiny. Yes, I am tiny. You waited for a large group of people to pass by before slipping back into the flow of foot traffic, cutting carefully between passersby as you began checking along both sides of the street. Excuse me. Of course, it was much easier to get lost in a crowd than it was to find someone lost in a crowd. You had to slow down to search, and people at each booth tried to talk to you as a result. What is it? I saw him. I think he's at the fair. Oh my god, he's trying to hide probably. Saw who? While you While you extricated yourself from yet another conversation, you heard the tangle of sentences one aisle over, near a tended booth run by one of the local businesses. It wasn't the first exchange that gave you pause. It was the wash of voices that quickly followed, as laughter of varying intents and volumes filled the air. Jamie. Hot Jamie? Yes, obviously, hot Jamie. You tilted your head and crept closer, slipping behind a tall stack of unused chairs. Maybe this was the reason Jamie had disappeared so quickly while you've been preoccupied. The strangers, at least 3 of them, all sounded like Rin Mare students. Did you see which way he went? No, he's the one that got away. Every time. There was a chorus of sighs, from the wistful to the mocking. Someone with a more acerbic tone took over, their words clipped so that you had no problem imagining the disdain on their face. You think WMU's most popular bachelor wouldn't spend so much time playing hard to get. Maybe that's part of the appeal. It's all in the chase. Come on, I'll rather chase someone who I can have a real conversation with. They laughed again, but you... They laughed again, but you felt your mouth twist a little, listening to them. You were half tempted to peek between the tents and see who exactly was saying all of this. Oh, you kids know Jamie? A new voice joined the conversation, someone much older, who kept a warm, friendly tone despite the topic at hand. It was probably the vendor at the tent you were eavesdropping on. There was a bit of a pause before a student spoke up. Yeah, you know him too? Sure, he comes by the downtown markets pretty often. Sweet guy, always fun talking to him. You weren't sure which half of that puzzled you more, the part where even a non-student found Jamie sweet, or the part where he spoke to shopkeepers frequently enough that they called it fun. Remember when he got those bookends from you for 30% off? Don't remind me, he haggled me down for a whole hour. Sorry, I don't think you're talking about Jamie Porter. Well, I don't know his full name, but he's a tall blonde fellow, isn't he? Goes to your school? Yeah, sorry, that just didn't sound like anything he'll do. He's not that chatty. Sure, don't mind me. You let me know if you're interested in anything here. The conversation subsided into some low mumbles, and after a moment the students moved away and rejoined the crowd. You stepped out of your hiding spot, returning to your side of the street. You hadn't heard what you were hoping for, namely a clue as to wherever Jamie had gone. Instead, you heard 2 opposing perspectives on the man himself. Was that really what other students thought about him? I mean, I'm kind of feeling like she also has the same interpretation of Jamie, that he wouldn't be like funny or chatty or something. You know? Was that really how people outside Rimmer saw him? Yeah, so I'll probably say more like that. You knew he had to have a life outside of school, but it was still surprising how he had such a strong rapport with people in Fairfield. Then again, he'll look pretty content, leaving the flower shop the last time you run into him downtown. Maybe he felt more comfortable off campus than on. It wouldn't do to speculate too much on your own. You cleared your throat gently, then looked to each side of the street. Time to get back on track. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that I feel like Jamie is so much like me. Like Deja has a lot of things that I feel like it's so much like me too. Like in the way of like being this hard worker and very focused to and sometimes also being a goofy person, you know, because usually when we are with people we know, we become very goofy too. So it's like I kind of feel like I have a little bit of both. But even in this, I kind of feel like very much like Jamie, which is like at school, people would probably see me as a person that is not very approachable. But, you know, talking with people around me in terms of like the shopkeepers and all of it, yeah, I would probably be very gentle and sympathetic and all of it, yeah. We are kind of like the reserved type, you know, kind of more like that. For now, that meant wandering around the fair, searching each row of booths and tents for signs of the people you come here with. It was slow, but it was better than waiting for them to find you. As you passed one of the school club tents, a striking yell nearly blew your eardrum out. "Captain! Report! Only 2 bags of sequins left." Sequins left, ma'am. Things are looking grim. There was a flurry of bedazzled motion in the tent as club members dashed back and forth. Peeking in, you confirmed that it was one of the crafts club sewing, maybe based on the banner overhead. "How does the rest of the inventory look?" "We are shoring up the gaps as much as we can, Captain, but without those sequins," I was going to say sequins again, it just comes like that. Because I'm so used to, honestly, between all of the languages that I know, only the English language does this, which is you close the vowels. You do not open them. So you do not read it as se. But in like most of the languages that I know, we open the vowels. So it's like sequins. We read like se. And you close like sequins. Yeah. You close the vowels. So most of the time I end up like doing these errors of pronunciation because I'm so used to open the vowels that it keeps happening like that. Blast, this can't be where it all ends. It's kind of like with the memes and memes, because in here we say memes, so it comes out like that. Just I tend to open the vowels all the time. On second thought, maybe this wasn't the sewing club. Either way, now you understood Queen's urgency a little better. Hopefully she and Deja would make it back in time before whatever the captain here thought was going to happen. You made it halfway down the next part of the fair and run into the student government booth, crammed tightly between 2 larger tables. The place was a tiny beehive of activity. You had a suspicion that neither Cameron nor Jamie would be nearby. They'll disappear as soon as Deja had gotten roped back into her responsibilities, after all. "Hey, hi, excuse me." But then the student at the front of the booth waved vigorously at you, trying to catch your attention. Nope. I don't know. I couldn't read it. It was really fast, you saw. But I was like, just nope. In a practice sequence, you whipped your phone out, looked at the screen in exaggerated shock, and lifted it to your ear. pivoting on one foot to walk briskly away as you pretended to take a call. Before you even, like, I didn't even saw the second one. I was just like, nope. I only saw nope. It's like this one. Because you had like the timing. Before you even realized she was behind you, you crashed right into Deja, or well, you would have if she hadn't caught you smoothly by the shoulders and spun you around. Nice try, roomie. Ah, damn it. Your heels scraped a little reluctantly on the asphalt as she steered you cheerfully back to the CG tent. Now it was your turn to get roped into something. Deja, you're back. I am, but I've only got time for one more thing. What did you want Irina for? Oh, they wavered for just a moment, then pointed down the street toward the stage that capped the far end of the craft fair. Our next performance had to cancel. We've got about a half an hour gap now. For what? What you need me for? What's going on? Keegan's still up there, but could you go tell him he has to adjust his set list? Out of habit, more than anything, you looked at Deja. She was quick to nod, looking rather agreeable despite the added errand. Sure, here. This is from Quinn. In exchange, she handed over a folded receipt, and as the CG member added it to the folder, you and your roommate stepped away. So, how'd everything go with Quinn? Deja waved her hand languidly, then reached up and slid her hair back over one shoulder. It went fine. She mostly needed help calming down. I mean, there's like this part which is like, she knew that there was a fair going on in here by the campus, so they could have went like somewhere else if she knew that, you know, if she didn't want it to get the attention, you know. You understand what I'm saying. Did you find more sequins? Long story short, yes, I have to talk the art store people into giving us a discount. You know, I heard someone around here saying Jamie likes to haggle too. She hummed inquisitively at that, her arms swinging lightly as she relaxed her gait. I really should try to recruit him. It would be nice having another negotiator around. He doesn't exactly strike me as someone who'd like a leadership role. Something about your tone tipped her off, and Deja shot you an expectant look. With a light shrug, you told her more about the conversation you overheard. Yeah, unfortunately, that sounds pretty typical. I don't envy him. I knew he was popular, but yeah, it wasn't great. It's juvenile. Deja spoke simply, her voice crisp and controlled. She nudged your elbow lightly to signal which way to turn, and you followed her with a small smile. The further you got from the student government booth, the more her posture and demeanor loosened. That was good. She deserved a break as much as the rest of you did. So, did you want it to come to downtown because of the craft fair? Okay. Is it hard handling CGB work on top of everything else you do? Why do all this extra work in the first place? How would have Queen known who I was earlier? Yeah. He didn't want to ask any questions. Okay, this might put her in like some kind of bad spot because she probably talked about us with Queen. I'm more interested on this one. If you must know, yes. Yeah, I kind of understood that, but you also knew that they were going to like pester you, you know? You kind of knew that, right? So did you want that type of attention too or something? I don't know. She chuckled darkly, hooking her fingers together behind her back. I got a few texts while we were studying, asking for any spare board member to come help out. Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing it. Okay. So she felt needed. And since she felt needed and she knows she's a very capable person, she started thinking like, oh, I'm going there and I'm going to help you. I understand that. Yes, now I'm seeing it. Okay. Because in the beginning, it seemed like she was like, oh, I didn't even wanted to go there because I'm going to grab the attention of the people in there and I just want to be walking and I don't want to be bothered. And apparently not. Yeah. Was that all? There may have been some free samples on offer as well. Yeah, I noticed that she kind of likes that too. Is it hard handling why do all this extra work in the first place? Isn't it obvious? The look that crossed her face was one of smug, self-satisfied confidence. Nobody else can do it as well as I can, so why not get it done myself? Yeah, I see it. I don't know, is it hard? Yes and no. Deja shrugged as fluidly as if she'll answered this question dozens of times before. I do have to be careful with the time and energy. But you've never seen me get tired of it, have you? The next look she threw you was openly playful and you chuckled in return. I kind of like her confidence though, yeah. That I have not. So, how does she know us? I mean, you've been to enough events with me that she figured it out. I have a second question. Is it the meowing? She does that when she moves through small spaces. I've never asked why. Is it to kind of like imitate the Japanese with the nia? Because yeah, you kind of like have people in there that go with the nia kind of thing. The two of you ducked under the string of flags that kept people from getting too close to the stage, circling around to the stairs that led up onto the raised platform. Seated near the edge was another, also vaguely familiar student. Based on the guitar case near their feet, this was the performer you were looking for. But hey, we played volleyball together, didn't we? Hi, Keegan. Got a second? Sure. He was sitting backward in his chair with his arms folded across the back and his chin resting on top. Their easygoing energy fit into this laid-back event much better than it had at the volleyball game. Got a SG update for you. The next act couldn't make it. Deja laid the facts out quickly and Keegan nodded sedately. They didn't seem too surprised, or maybe they were sleepy? It was a little hard to tell from his expression alone. That's fine, you need a second to get set up. It took you a moment to realize he was addressing you specifically. Me? What? Huh? Oh, there's a... No, I'm not replacing them, sorry. You shook your head, but Keegan only nodded again, adding a little shrug of one shoulder. He didn't seem that bothered by the change in plans. Okay, so guess I have free reign for a bit. Yeah, you can just freestyle whatever you feel up to. Are you performing for the entire fair? No breaks? It's not as bad as it sounds. He squinted slightly. Their tone had been pretty placid, and so was the tiny chuckle they let out next. Really, I don't mind. SG hired me, so I'm here for the day. It's a cushy gig. They are paying me in sequins. Just kidding. Sequins again. Apparently they are running out of sequins, so I don't know if they can pay you with that. He tipped a little wink in Dash's direction and your roommate rolled her eyes. So word was getting around the fair about that, huh? Okay, as long as you know, break a leg. Will do, Vice Press, will do. Free at last, free at last. Deja gave us a sing-song sigh. and together you wove a meandering path into the other half of the craft fair. Come to think of it, where are the others? That's what I want to know. I lost all three of you at almost the same time. Irina! Thankfully, before you needed to explain any further, a familiar head of messy hair crested the crowd, bouncing as if a certain somebody were jumping up and down. Speak of the devil. You both waved, and as Cameron bobbed back out of sight, Dasha jabbed a thumb over her shoulder. You want to keep looking for Jamie? I'll go check on Cam. Sure. She headed off through the crowd, and you turned to continue in the other direction. You'll cover enough ground that your chances of finding Jamie should have been improving, but no luck yet. I mean, he could have texted or something, right? Even she could have texted him or something, you know? I don't know. Your footsteps scraped gently on the asphalt, and you fell back into the familiar pattern of winding randomly through the fair, smiling awkwardly at vendors and trying your best to avoid conversation. Interested in any flower? Oh, he went to the flower shop. Okay. I do suppose. I don't know. The latest advertising attempt came from a booth bedecked with fresh bouquets, the register and sign barely visible between bunches of colorful petals. Automatically, you turn with an awkward smile already on your face, even as the lilt in the vendor's voice pinches something in your memory. He actually looks cute. No thanks. I'm Jamie? No, I'm Jamie. There was the slightest curl of smugness to his smile as he looked at you from behind the table. In one hand, he still held out a small wrapped bouquet of flowers. He wasn't immediately recognizable at first, thanks to the baseball cap on his head. What are you doing back there? He twitched the bouquet and raised an eyebrow. Okay, what I meant is, why are you back there? I know the owner. He had to step away for a while, so I offered to look after things. And then this must have been the booth for the same flower shop you've seen him at during your errand run with Reina. So, have you made any sales yet? No. He gave an apologetic shrug, setting the bouquet back in its vase of water. He only asked me to reorganize some of the inventory, so... His gaze unfocused and he glanced past you, scanning the crowds for a quick second, then beckoned for you to join him on the vendor side of the booth. It's easier to talk without the table in the way, just come on. You gave him a skeptical look, but stepped around to join him on the inside of the covered booth. Because of the canvas overhead, it was shadier, but there wasn't much leg room. That was thanks to the buckets and buckets of flowers arranged inside, blooms and buds of all kinds, lined up on staggered wooden pallets so they were visible to customers. There's no way they are going to sell this many flowers in one day. I'd hope not. Jamie's tone was mild, and the small smile on his face told you he didn't mean it. He dropped into one of the folding chairs at the back of the booth, and you sat in the other. From this vantage point, it was suddenly obvious why he was back here. When you were seated, the sheer number of flowers made it hard for passerbys to see you. To punctuate, Jamie reached over and flipped the small double-sided letterboard on the table, changing the message from welcome to back soon. How'd you get ahead? Have you been hiding from your groupies this whole time? So how'd you make friends with the shopkeeper? Need me to go out there and make a distraction? I cannot. I have to. His eyes glinted with amusement, but when he tilted his head toward the street, it was with a slow, right refusal on his lips. I appreciate the thought, but we might as well stay out of sight. I had to. So where did you get the hat? I borrowed it from the owner. He adjusted it gently on his head as he spoke, and you had a chance to appreciate how effectively it hid his features when he pulled the brim down. I don't think so. I even think like his face was kind of like more hidden with his like golden, not golden, but yellow hair, brown, blonde, brown, with his blonde hair. So I kind of feel like I can see his face better like this. Okay, have you been hiding from your groupies? Okay, his expression flickered into frosty disapproval before he smiled thinly. Not my groupies, but staying out of the way, yes. How did you make friends with shopkeeper? Are you asking me how to make friends with people? I mean, sure, kind of. Give me your version of it. He shook his head slowly and he tapped a finger to his closed mouth. Oh, come on, I'm going to figure out how you do it someday. Okay, no more questions. After some time of your feet, it was admittedly nice to sit back for a while. Another handful of minutes passed and you traded a few bits of small talk as they come to mind. It was, you dare to think, almost peaceful. You wouldn't go as far as to think Jamie had let his guard down around you, but it said something that he tipped you off to his hiding spot. You thought he was overreacting, so you told him as much. You rearranged some more flowers to create an even better hiding place. You looked for the bouquet Jamie had offered to you earlier. Okay, let's see what he says. What was in that bouquet you tried to give me? You sat forward and craned your neck a little, getting a second look at the vase where he left it. You didn't really need to. Jamie listed the flowers one by one with barely any hesitation. A snapdragon, delphinium, young lavender, baby's breath, some greens. Did you make it yourself? He left you hanging there, just lifting and dropping a shoulder non-committedly. You pointed at a few more pre-made bouquets, and he was able to identify the flowers each time. On the last one, you didn't get an answer, and you noticed Jamie looking off into the distance. I think it's time to go. Jamie spoke idly but moved quickly. In a second, he was on his feet and shaking his hair loose from his borrowed cap. He looked around, checking the street, and spotted a trio of students coming closer, pointing at the flowers on display. My groupies, as you put it. It only took another look to confirm your suspicions. If those three were the same gossips who had spotted Jamie in the crowd earlier. You got to your feet, moving to help Jamie push the chairs in under the table. Where to? Away. His smile tinged with sarcasm. He stepped over a bucket of tulips and slipped out the back of the booth. You followed, taking care not to make too much noise. Just like that, you were back in the hustle and bustle of the craft fair. Jamie strode ahead of you, and thanks to his height, you had to break into a trot every few seconds to keep up. Hey, wait up. You keep your voice low in case... there's like another thing which is like... yes, like a person when they are tall, they can... like their legs can stretch more, for each step. But at the same time, it's like when you are small like me, you have like a trot that it's a lot more faster. How to put it? Like we are so used to try to accompany people that our trot is usually a lot more faster. So sometimes what it happens is like with tall people is they are like, oh, why are you going so fast? And you're like, you're just like going, you know. You're so used to like try to accompany people and just go faster. It's kind of like that. You kept your voice low in case those students were still anywhere close by. Still, Jamie heard you, and he turned his head with his more typical smile on his face. But I do not suppose she's as small as me, you know, because she was like saying, I cannot go to the same rhythm. And I'm like, oh, when you are small, you kind of go in the same rhythm, you know, like, yeah, you can do it because you get so used to trot so fast, you know, that it's like just like that. You can keep up, can't you? Oh, fine, you forced a little more pep into your step, and as you stayed behind him, he headed wherever the crowd was thinnest. Irina. Jamie paused, and before you could run into him, you whipped around to spot Deja waving to you from a nearby bench. In the shade of the tree behind it, Cameron was speaking softly to a young kid. Hey, what's wrong? She stepped towards you with a hint of strain in her smile, pitching her voice lower to avoid being overheard. We ran into them just now. They lost their balloon. Cam's trying to cheer them up. Could we get them another? That was my thought too, but it's a long line, and they said they are waiting for their older brother who ran off on his own, or got lost, or something. It was kind of hard to figure out. Sorry. It was kind of hard to figure out between the crying and, well, Cam's better with kids. How could they not be? Cameron might have been an only child, but they had more little cousins than they knew what to do with. What to do? Surely they were staff who were supposed to deal with this. There had to be a staff tent somewhere that you could bring the kid to. The older brother probably went to get another balloon. You could go and look for him. Where did lost balloons go? Up, you took your head back. You took charge and delegated what everyone could do to help. Okay, so I gotta tell you, like, maybe more in here than in there, I don't know. But in here, it's, you would just probably get them into a place where the staff is. Do you understand? Because in here, you would just like be with the kids and someone would be already screaming that you were trying to kidnap them or something. It would just be like that. Even if you were just like teenagers, like, oh, what, you're trying to sell them drugs or something? It would be just like that. So it would just be better to get them to the staff, and it would just be like that. Like that. You don't even want to get that type of responsibility. Because in here, man, people kind of like go crazy with that shit. I don't know how it is in America, but in here, people just go crazy. Sometimes you're just even like trying to help and people just go crazy about stuff. Yeah. You shifted uncomfortably on your feet, looking around as you searched the crowd. Shouldn't there be a staff member who can handle this? Well, yes, but they are not here right now, and we are. So let's take them to the right place, please. I could go back to the SGP tent or get up to Keegan on stage and use the microphone. The rest of you could... Deja trailed off briefly, slipping seamlessly into her vice president role as she thought rapidly through a few possibilities. Before she decided on one, Jamie spoke up. Just a moment. Jamie stepped forward, circling the nearby trees as the rest of you paused to watch him. He found a foothold and boosted himself up, latching onto a low branch with a grunt. Quickly but awkwardly, he clambered up onto the joint between the branch and the tree's trunk. He's probably trying to get the balloons or something. Jamie, what the... What are you doing, man? Jamie was too busy finding his balance to respond. He sat up carefully on his knees, shuffling forward a bit, and twisted his body while reaching all the way up to untangle a string hidden in the leaves. Oh, hey buddy, look at that. After some rustling, Jamie lowered back down, dropping his hand with the string looped around his fingers. You reached up in turn, unwinding it and pulling the entire balloon free. And just as you went to hand it back to its owner, a patter of small footsteps brought the kid's brother back onto the scene, with 2 brand new balloons in his hand. Oh, all's well that ends well. From there, it was Cameron who volunteered to escort the kids over to a help desk. Deja went along to help with navigation and talking to staff. That left you to wait for Jamie as he slouched a little on the tree branch overhead. If I'd known that was going to happen, I wouldn't have come up here. Yeah. I do know it looked to me like you were having fun. Maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. So, you coming down? I can't. I was kind of expecting that. And thus it was your job to find him a stepladder. It took 10 minutes to get him down, and by then, Deja and Cameron were back. Yeah, I understand this because, as I told you, like, I am not good with heights either. It's like, it's not that you cannot go up there, but when you look down, it happens a lot. Like, you know, when you have like those ladders that are like attached to the wall and you need to like come down through them. It's the same thing. You look down and you're like, am I able to do this? It's just, so it's not the climbing, it's when you need to descend, you know. It's like you're like, oh god. The distant melody on stage faded, and with a hum, a second microphone clicked on. That would be the end of Kia's freestyle break and the start of whichever act was scheduled to start. Attendees began drifting closer as a result, funneling down the street in a gentle current. As space opened up, you idly scanned the nearby tables until one caught your eye. It was another club booth with folding stools that implied visitors could take their time and linger. The students there were sorting through plastic boxes, but they stopped as you approached. Hi. Hey, don't mind us, we're still open. Well, we're not selling anything, but you know what I mean. Oh, hey, Viv. Deja, glad to see you made it. Wanna make something? Viv held up a box. Inside were compartments packed neatly with colorful pads and charms, as well as an assortment of clasps, connectors, and clips. Not a single seat at the table was taken, meaning you had time and space to yourselves. The 4 of you glanced among yourselves, eyes meeting in silent conversation. Sure, why not? You were seated in short order, Cameron and Jamie on one side of the table, and you and Deja on the other. Viv looked at the narrow end, passing out spools of glossy nylon cords. I'm looking at the time and I'm like, oh my god. Man, it's incredible. Like, this demo is really, really long. I mean, it's fine. I mean, we're doing it. It's just, it's really long. Honestly, when is this going to end? When is the spring going to end? Oh god. Because, you know, I'm seeing that, yeah, maybe I won't have time to edit it today. Yeah, I don't think so. And I really didn't want it. Like, tomorrow, I cannot even do this because I have something appointed for me to do. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to leave it for another day. And it's just a demo, you know? Because for me, it makes more sense that you have a demo of like 2 hours or something. Okay. And why am I saying this? Imagine, I am putting all of this effort into a game that is not the full game. Do you understand? I'm putting like 8 hours into it when it's not the full experience of the game. So for me, it feels like it's too much. It's good because you get more of the game, but at the same time, it's like it's too much because now I'm putting all of this into a demo. And imagine, and the demo, it's not going to pass the information for the full game, and then you get the full game, and then you need to do everything from the beginning, and all of those 8 hours are like gone, you know. So like, I'm kind of like feeling like, is it okay to have demos that are so long at the same time? I don't know how I feel about that, honestly. I don't know, because this is all effort that is going away. Do you understand? So it's like, well, if it's not obvious yet, we're the jewelry making club over on campus. You can make anything really, but we've got some tutorials for bracelets and necklace if you want inspiration. She slid some laminated sheets onto the table, then started unstacking boxes and bags full of bits. If you're looking for a charm in particular, we have a list on the back of that sheet too. Just look for the little code that tells you which box it's in. Deja flipped the sheet over, and you looked over her shoulder at the finely printed double column of text filling the page. The jewelry making club did not mess around. Hey, what if we made matching bracelets? Cameron lifted a finger to ward off any protests, then reached to bracket a portion of the laminated sheet with her fingers. The section listing a complete alphabet of letter beds. And we spell out one message across all 4 of them, then split them up, one per person. What's the message? I don't know yet. Who decides? Cameron's smile was instant, and their answer even more so, as they raised 2 fingers in a sniping motion. Play you for it? Your expression crinkled with amusement. They may have been offering a game of chance, but it was clear that Cam wanted you all to come away from this with something silly on your wrists. Okay? At least Deja and Jamie were willing to play along, the former nodding graciously and the latter blinking calmly. Scissors again. Jamie? What's the thumbs up for? Bomb. Straight-faced, Jamie twitched his thumb in a motion that mimicked pressing a trigger button. Bomb beats everything. Oh, then we would just put bomb everyone, you know. I'm telling Geneva. Agreed, disqualified on grounds of crimes against stationary kind. Oh, come on. Yeah, I don't think so either, my friend. What is that? Like, oh, bomb, this explodes everything. What is that? Despite his displeased protest, he sat back easily enough, lowering his arm as he waited for the rest of you to sort out a proper winner. You and Deja had each thrown scissors, leaving only Cameron to hold up a closed fist. Gotcha with the subliminal messaging. Alright, give me a second. They pulled the tray of beds close and hunched over it, shielding whatever message they were planning out. In the meantime, you and the others started braiding simple bracelets out of cord. Is this the first year that clubs are participating in the fair? Yes and no. Before they wanted to participate, they had to sign up on their own with the event sponsors. This year, the SGB stepped in and streamlined the whole process from the start. Was that your idea, Dee? Your roommate tilted her head back and forth, holding still as you helped her measure how much string she needed around her wrist. No, it was a senior on the board who got things rolling. That's why I was just on reserve when it came to running things. And you ended up not on reserve because Because she was cold and she felt needed, and that made her feel really nice inside. Poor guy got taken out by food poisoning. Oh, good. Each of you made a vaguely sympathetic noise at that. Cameron purred her lips softly, still busy sorting through beds. It always seems so stressful organizing things like this. It's not that bad. We've had bigger ones. The barbecue was bigger, and tapping a daisy-shaped bed thoughtfully on the table, Deja glanced at Jamie. He'd fallen quiet, busy concentrating on his bracelet. You're a third year, aren't you? I heard there was a pretty big concert actually 2 years ago. I transferred in the same year that Percy and Elio started. There was something deliberately pruned back about his tone. Then, Dad told you he wasn't going to explain how or why. Oh, I see. Okay, ready. Cameron sat up straight again, pushing a few selected bets to each of you and drumming their palms lightly on the table in anticipation. Make sure they stay in order, okay? Looking down at your own allotment, you felt your brow crease slightly with confusion. From left to right, you had 3 bets, a C, an A, and... so it's Cam, okay. Hey Cam, you sure you gave me the right ones? Sure am, it will make sense later, I promise. All done. Thanks to your hesitation, Deja was first to finish, holding up her bracelet with a quiet smile. Unfortunately, her letters didn't do much to clarify things. From left to right, they read ISDA. Okay. Jamie mumbled under his breath, and you squinted slightly. Got an idea, yeah? No. Not a whit. Deja demurred bluntly, shaking her head. Cameron chuckled, then turned aside, glancing down at the loose ends of Jamie's bracelet. Want some help with that? Jamie nodded and dropped his bracelet into their hand, while Cam added an adjustable knot and final bit. Jamie glanced at your side of the table, where Deja was helping you with the same. Oh, what, did you figure it out? More or less. Don't spoil it, I'm almost finished. Well, we still don't know what Jamie's got. Returning Jamie's bracelet, they quickly looped a few more beads onto their own and finished the braid, knotting everything together, slipping it onto their wrist and securing it. Okay, in order. Irina, then Jamie, then Deja. You extended your hands as requested, Cam. Cameron? Cameron Diza. Deja her chin. Okay. Best. Cameron presented their arm with a victorious flourish. The best. It would just feel kind of like weird at the same time, because we are actually the ones carrying a person's name on it, you know. Although the whole idea is another thing, but we are the ones carrying an actual name. Cameron's obviously acceleration made it difficult to truly protest, and you pushed back from the table with a laugh and well-meaning shake of the head. Did you know you were going to win? I can't believe you had that ready to go. Excuse me, I left it to fate. Not my fault, I'm just fate's favorite. Deja, do you have a second? Yeah. Deja stepped aside with Viv, and the rest of you cleaned up and gathered your things. Your movements were now accompanied by the occasional click of bats and an unexpectedly heartwarming sound, which you heard from the others' wrists as they shuffled about. Sorry, we can go now. Where to is the question. You didn't doubt there was more of the fair to explore, but Cameron spoke up to the contrary, looking a little sheepish while they towed at the ground. Well, I'm feeling a little low battery after all this running around. Not that I didn't enjoy myself yet. I mean, you were supposed to go there just for a little bit and go study again. What? Really? These people. We should be getting back anyway. Better not to get too carried away. You agreed quietly, finally allowing yourself to remember that there was a literal study room waiting for the four of you to return. Yes! Not to mention Percy and Elio left behind all this time. The festivities faded quickly behind you as you trekked back to Cam's car, where the drive down had been a buzz with clandestine excitement of a sneaky trip off campus. The return was more sedate. Traffic was merciful, and you were back in no time. Cameron led the way out of the parking lot, spurred on by the promise of a potentially lukewarm drink. Walking across the green, you were struck by the dreamy quality of the quiet that blanketed this part of campus. On your way out, it had felt like the university was holding its breath, bracing for exams. Now, with the mind more rested, it felt more like a simple spring day's atmosphere. You smiled contentedly, even as you filed back indoors and arrived on the fourth floor. Hey, sorry about there's nobody here. You poked your head over their shoulders, and Deja and Jamie jostled for space on their other side. The study room was exactly as you left it, with nobody else inside. Well, maybe they also went there. They saw no one was in there, and they decided, like, what the heck, we're just going out again. And where are the snacks, though? Yeah, probably no snacks in there. Did we really get back before they did? You considered asking where they were in the group chat, but any message with a timestamp would serve as proof of how late you returned to the room yourselves. You felt a reluctant rumble of hunger as it became apparent how much time had passed. While you retook your seat, you couldn't help but think wistfully of Percy and Elio's so-called snack run. And as it turned out, you weren't the only ones with wandering thoughts. Hey, Jamie. Yes, Cameron. What's your book about? You perked up at that, turning to face Jamie with a wolfish smile. I'd love to know as well. I'm well aware. He sighed softly and seemed to finally give in, head tilting forward as he picked up his book, and set it down again, pushing it an inch or so towards Cameron with a finger. I always feel like he's more open with Cameron. Why, dude, why? If you're so curious, why don't you read it for yourself? That'll give you a better impression than any summary I can make. The door clicked open before Cameron could respond, and in came Percy and Elio, each balancing a tray of fountain drinks and laden with bags full of food. They went where? The McDonald's or something? I don't know. We are back. Maybe they went to Wendy's or... Oh, God, I don't know. So you are... Hey, you and Cameron jumped up to help ferry everything safely to the tabletop, sorting out snacks, sodas, juices, and a disconcerting amount of chili fries in the process. Well, where have the two of you been? Not ditching, I hope. Yeah, there was a horse in the way. We had to detour. What about you? What were you all up to? Oh, we've been in here studying. We never left. Ever. This and that. Jamie's tone warned of incoming comeuppance. I don't know if I know how to say it. Comeuppance. And your eyes darted over to him. He examined his nails in a show of casual indifference, then looked up to stare right at you. Oh, so he thought you wouldn't spill the beans. Watch this. You couldn't betray Deja like that. He could tattle if he so dared. Okay. Yep, we went downtown for a bit. We did? We didn't. Oh god. Deja calmly popped a stray into her drink and took a sip. Even if you drag her to the very precipice of being revealed as a slacker, you knew she'll never give in. She had an image to maintain. So, you just stayed here? I suppose we did. Still, you caught a glint of amusement in Jamie's eye as he looked smoothly away from you. You belated and impromptu, lunch passed in a flash after the crumbs and crumpled and napkins were swept away. All that was left was to get back to studying. Just like how Deja had put it when you first arrived, today was a long haul, set aside to wrestle through the last of your exam prep. Man, I left all the hard questions for last. This sucks. Cameron's low whine prompted a few sympathetic mutters from around the table. Even after running off for as long as you had to admit spending the rest of the day indoors wasn't appealing. Yeah. I think this thing of like, oh, no, I cannot think about it. I need to go out and then I'll get back and then I can do this. I would tell you that's actually not for me. Because when I come back, I get like that. I also get like, oh, now I cannot do this. You know, now it was good that I rested and I went out. But now I feel like I cannot do this, anymore. So that's why I always prefer to do things like in a straight line. I just, you kind of like internalize that I'm going to study, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it till the end. Otherwise, if I just decide to go out and go to the fair and whatever, then when I come back, I'm like, oh my god, I cannot do this anymore. Nope. Could anyone really blame you if you slipped your phone out for one last distraction? You found a candid angle and pressed the shutter button before anyone noticed. See, like, they only give you like these photos kind of thing. Where are the real CGs? I want those. No, I didn't find my light. Don't mind me. It just felt like a good moment. Immortalizing our collective torment? How dastardly. Hey, it's not that bad, is it? At least we'll have something to compare to when we're finally past exams. He was right, you did have a deadline to keep, but at least you had a keepsake now, capturing how exactly you'll be getting there on film. A tort is an act through which an individual can be held responsible in a court of civic law, which is obviously different from criminal law. There are 3 basic types of torts, but name at least 5 that exist within each. Irina, dude, you're doing it again. What am I doing? I can see your eyes moving under your eyelids. Relax, we're done. Finals are over, we made it. We did? What? The sight came out before you even knew it was coming, and Deja left from above you. That's a pretty deep sight, Irina. I could be at a beach right now. Sure could. If we're done with finals, why am I not on a yacht? Does this look like a yacht, Cameron? I'll remember to ask Reina for yacht's funds next time I try to organize a picnic. Doing a picnic now? What? Cameron casually dropped their arm across your cheek, and you felt the press of the pads on their bracelet. You protest being used as a wrist rest if you weren't currently lying with your head on their thigh. Your haunting by-law textbook side, Cameron wasn't wrong. The semester was over. Final seasons had officially come and gone, and all that remained was waiting for your grades to come in. Thanks for organizing these, Dee. I can't take credit for all of it. Everyone on campus seemed to have the same idea. Yeah, I can't believe we even found a spot. The green today was littered with students. with students. Some rested in the hammocks that the SGP had set up when finals started. Others chattered among themselves about parties or vacations. Yeah, I do not know if you have like these things going on in there, but I do believe you do have like this community kind of lifestyle of college, which is something that in here we do not have. Like, we do not do these kind of things. I don't know how to put it to you. It's like we take studying in a very serious way. So yes, you do have like in here, for instance, we have tunas, which is like people gather together, so they play instruments and stuff like that. And sometimes they even go to the subway and they play for people, and that's how they can they commute together. Okay, but you do not have a lot of these going on, because I don't know how to put it for you. I feel like in here we take it in a very serious way compared to America. I really noticed that we take it in a very serious way. But yeah, I see like these sometimes. It's like the festivals and the parties and the community together of like the students, and I do not feel it. Like we have some of it in here, but it's in such a low state. Yeah, you wouldn't have this. And still others, like you and your friends, we're content to soak up the sunshine instead. Well, you do get, like, every time I see like an American coming in here, you do kind of say that about this. We are very individualistic, and we are very like the serious type of people. We are very serious about things. We are. And that reflects also in this type of situations. Like, yeah, we tend to be very individualistic and serious about like everything, like education and all of it. Yeah. Deja, bless her, had also brought snacks. Reaching aside, she plucked a small wedge of cheese and a cracker from the plate sitting on the blanket. How do you think you did, Cam? I mean, Cameron smiled, weakened, and they turned aside, pulling a grape free and popping it into their mouth. I feel alright. I mean, I think I killed it with my philosophy finals, but the law stuff, I don't know which joker in the college counselor's office was like, sure, let them double major. It'll go great. You studied your ass off. I'm sure you did do great, Cam. I don't know if he's the type to do like the law stuff. I don't know. You mean you're telling me it gets worse? Cameron hummed apologetically, and your stomach sunk a little. You knew you couldn't avoid the miserable grind for knowledge in your field, but you had your fair share of cramming to do, but the pressure hadn't been too bad. The knowledge that it wasn't the end of the world if you didn't get perfect marks had kept you sane. You like it to think you'd take things as seriously as you needed to, studying whenever and wherever you could based on whatever else was on your schedule. Yeah, I mean, the thing in here is that if you do not study for the grades and you're just like, it kind of depends where you want to go. If you just want to have like to end the major, you know, it is fine if you do not have like good grades. the thing is, like, in here you are encouraged to take the master's degree and the PhD, right? That's how you say PhD. I think it's like that. You are encouraged to take those. And why? Because they tell you, like, everyone has a major, and if you want to get like a good job, you really need to take the other ones. And the thing is, for you, because I already told you that it doesn't work in the same way. In here, it's more about the grades that you have than actually the money that you're going to put to be able to enter a university, okay? In here, it's more like that. So if you just want to take the major and you don't want to go higher up the ladder, it is fine if you have like average grades. 'Cause otherwise, if you really want to step up, you have to have good grades, okay? Otherwise, you may not actually enter into, or even continue in the university where you are to take the master's degree or the PhD or something. Yeah, you may not be able, you know? So maybe that's why I was telling you that in here we take things really serious in terms of like education and all. Yeah, it's because of that. Because in here you rely a lot on your own efforts and grades and all of it, you know, because otherwise you cannot do it. It's not so much about, oh, I just put money in there. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? In here is, of course, you do have a lot of corruption going on in there too, but it's more like that, okay? It's more into like the effort that you had and your grades and all of it. And for instance, like in here in my country, is like, we are facing a real issue with doctors in terms of medics. Why? Because in here you can only become a medic if you have grades above 18. In here is 18, and the scale in here goes from 0 to 20. And if your grades are above 18, your final grade is above 18, you cannot perform in the field of the medicine. So this tells you how high they want people, you know, to take seriously their grades. Do you understand what I'm trying to say in here? So there's a lot of people in here that actually go to other countries where do they not ask a grade as high as in here, and then we are facing the issue, which is we do not have enough medics in here because, you know, I mean, you study, but sometimes you cannot get the grades that you actually want, you know, sometimes it happens. So yeah, in here is a lot like that. It's more about the grades than actually, I just get like some average grades and then I'll pay for the master's and the PhD, you know, like it doesn't work like that in here. It doesn't. Once again, why I was telling you that I fear that that's why we end up being a lot more serious and not having so much a community around it, you know, around the college and all of it. Well, at least you know what to look forward to next year, kind of. Honestly, if I can just pass, that'll be enough. See, like, she was just like, I just want to have the major. Hey, you did more to prepare this time, so that's a start. Yep, at least one group study session to your name. And one was all I needed, right? Well, I was hoping you'll show up to a few more next term, but I did see you working pretty hard on revisions this time. Good job. I'm guessing you're not worried, Dasha? Am I ever? All right, Miss Humble Brag. Dasha stifled a laugh, feigning ignorance. The two of you knew better than anyone else that even the student vice president had put in some real elbow grease to succeed as much as she had. I mean, everyone. Even like the ones that say, oh, I do not need to study much. They all study. At least I didn't have any actual exams to study for. Did not have the time. In here is more like you do have exams, but it goes more by you delivering thesis. Yeah, it's more like that. A lot more than exams. And they really need to be really good ones, because otherwise, yes, sometimes I had moments where I skipped classes just to be at home and doing the thesis that were needed, because I was like, I need time, because they say exactly what you need. Like, they say you need to put it in this amount of pages with this amount of words, and it's usually not just a tiny bit. Okay, it's a lot. So yeah, it's not actually like just exams in here. Usually you even have both of them. You need to deliver a thesis, and then you need to do the exam too. Stretching her arms high overhead, Deja let out a slight whine. The mere thought of school manifested imaginary knots in her shoulders. Just 2 more years to go, and I'll be over. A beautiful, fleeting dream that I'll be thinking about when I'm in an office for 8 hours a day. Yeah. This is the sad reality that we have nowadays, which is like you pass like the whole time, and it's a really sad reality in here. You know that we are facing some issues in here in terms of employment in Europe, and it's crazy. And I think it's getting even more crazy because of the immigration. It's just getting crazier and crazier. And it's kind of sad that you think that you took like a major on something and you're not going to work on that major. You're probably just going to work as a waiter or something. This is a reality in here. Let me tell you, if you're like an American and you're seeing this, because there's a ton of Americans thinking about going to Europe. My friends, think again. You have like a major, and the only job you can get is as a waiter or something. Most of the time, you cannot even get that because they tell you like, oh, but you never work it on that. Oh, no, we don't. Or they tell you like that you have too much studies for what the job is implied to do, So you cannot get on your field. You cannot get as an office clerk. You cannot get as a waiter. You cannot get as like nothing. And you're just in here like praying for the heavens to freaking give you a job for you to actually pay the counts. And the most stupid thing, it's just me talking right now, and the most stupid thing is that a lot of people from other countries come in here, get the low paid jobs, and you as a person that reside on that country cannot even get those jobs. Isn't this insane? This is like insane, because even if you say like, I'm sorry, I want that job because I don't have another way of I need to live, I need to have at least one job, it doesn't matter, they would like tell you like, no, you can get another thing, so let's get out. And then you're like, no, I cannot. And they're like, no, get out. We prefer to have the immigrants in here, We feel like they won't complain as much and they'll just get like the bare minimum and it's fine. And you're like, dude, what's going on in here? This is actually the motive I was telling you that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about immigrating to. And I've been outside. I've been in the U.S. too. But I'm thinking about the immigration thing, because I'm also feeling this, which is outside they accept us so well, even for the minimum wages. And in here, even if you want to work at a minimum wage kind of thing, they are like, no, we prefer the immigrant ones. It's like, what is wrong with? What is going on in here? Honestly, it's just yeah, I don't know how to tell you this. This is a reality that we are facing right now. Yeah. At least in Europe. I don't know how it is right now in America, but in Europe, yeah, we are really facing this. And then countries are kind of like revolting in itself because, oh, we are having like this problem. It's just immigrants everywhere. And I'm like, well, then we need to do something about this thing that's going on with jobs too. You know, this is like a snowball kind of thing. Cry for me, Deja, when I get eaten alive by my actual textbooks in grade school. Not when you choose it. Cameron fell gracelessly backward, their hand pressed against their forehead. They at least try to balance you on top of their thighs, but drama took obvious precedent. You weathered the jostling, head bobbing awkwardly as Cam twisted and turned. After a bit of shared laughter, you settled to idly watch the clouds drift by. People came and went across the lawn, and thanks to the slow hustle and bustle, your mind wandered away from classes towards thoughts of today. Of the lovely weather, the good food and company to be had. It had been a while since the three of you got to spend time together like this. Can't believe I'm graduating next year. Chunks of grass were being pulled up by the root. Dirt scattered as the fact hung in the air. Had that much time really passed since you met them? This time next spring, you'll be seeing them cross the stage into the next phase of their lives. Pretty wild, huh? Crazy that I'll have to start applications soon. That early? Yeah, I mean, I'll be a shoe-in for the program here, but I don't know. I was thinking about applying to some other places too. I went here because it's near my folks, and I saved a fortune not having to pay rent. But it feels like you could make a list if that'll help you decide, but you'll be fine wherever you end up. You usually are. Yeah, but you know, that's because you're more than capable once you get your bearings. Come on, if you want to do it, you can. Thanks, Irina. Take a picture, Dee. It'll last longer. I can just look fondly at a friend. I'm just surprised, that's all. Usually you'll say something like, go get him, champ, and leave it at that. Hey, I was just wondering what might have prompted that change. Hey, look out! Oh my god, look out? What's going on? The shouting from across the way stopped the continuing conversation in its tracks. Your head swiveled and you spotted a herd of students stumbling in hated pursuit of their wayward frisbee. Oh, it's a frisbee. Said frisbee hit you before you could even react. While there was no visible reaction on your part, that didn't change that it still hurt. The irritation must have been obvious because the minute the group arrived to apologize, they shrunk back in the same step. Nice going. So sorry. Hey, glad you're apologizing, less glad you almost trampled us. Oh, no, sorry again. We were trying to stand in the corner, but just be careful, will you? The offending students wilted a little under Deja's disapproving glare, and they quickly left with another mumble apology and their metaphorical tails tucked between their legs. Unbelievable. It's alright, Dee. I don't think they could have apologized more if they tried. You'll think the green isn't big enough or something. It's not their personal playground. Listen to me. I sound like my mother. But the green is a playground. There was an actual festival here. They had a petting zoo and everything. I already miss it, the smell of caramel popcorn on the wind mixed in with the animal poop. You paint such beautiful pictures with your words, but I'm glad you had fun. Definitely, it was a nice break to have from, like normal classes before exams. For you, maybe. I'm mostly relieved the turnout was as good as it was. Pretty much means I'm guaranteed to get elected to student government again. But after the year we've had, not sure that's a good thing. I'm sure Reina would be happy to have you for another year. Without thinking, you rolled your eyes at the mention of your student body president. She hadn't exactly won your vote, but you couldn't deny that she had done an admirable job organizing the festival alongside Deja. You know, I'm trying to continue because I really wanted to end this, and I'm like, okay, spring is ending, right? Can we end this? And the game just continues. Oh my god. Because, yeah, I don't think I'm going to continue. I don't think. I'm like, okay, I think we're reaching a good spot in here, and we're going to stay in here. I hope you at least had time to have some fun at the festival. I still feel pretty bad for what happened with that alpaca. So whose idea was that human pretzel race? Which came first, dunk tank or the quiz show? God. Oh, that was someone on the board's idea. It didn't really seem fun to pay someone to sit in the tank all day, and we figured it would be more on the theme to test folks on their school spirit. Just saying, maybe a pop quiz is kind of startling when everyone's just there to have fun. Were the questions that hard? No, but my point stands. Kind of felt like I needed a study guide for the festival. Haha, a little guide called Attending Campus Orientation. You know, I half expected it to be them. The Frisbee people? Oh, or wait, you thought they were Elio and the others? Yeah, I thought they were doing a bit running and shouting to see what we'll do. Didn't realize it was a bunch of strangers until way too late. Let's be a little fair to them. Sometimes it's not Percy, Jamie, and Elio causing a mess, it's us. When have we caused trouble for them, exactly? I'll get back to you on that. Where are they anyway? You invited them, right, Irina? One sec. Oh my god, end this, please. I cannot continue with this. I only have what, 20 minutes at best? People, please. Please, with this game, please. I'll keep up, invite you to a picnic. But do you want us at the picnic? Sure. You're enthusiastic. I thought she was. We ate all the food. No! Yeah. We're on our way. Just got Elio from his last final. Is it done? It is. They are on their way. And I bet we're still going to get like the part that they talk. I don't have time for this. Oh my god. Okay. Cool. We've been hanging out with them so much the last 2 weeks that it's kind of weird not seeing them. It's just a pity because I want to take things till the end. And then it's like, it's a never ending kind of story. Crazy that we basically just met them. Elio really made good on actually hanging out after the barbecue. Did you think he was actually going to? Nope. But that's nothing against Elio. Most people say they will, then life happens, you know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that happened to everyone I met during orientation. Not that I showed up to any parties people tried to throw anyway. You showed up to this party, that's all that matters. Hey, like I would ever miss it, come rain or shine. It shined today, thankfully. It looks like we're finally done with spring showers. Good, we got so much rain. My folks got sandbags to keep the water from leaking to our garage. You guys are literally the quietest people here. I have zero idea how you expected us to find you. Hey guys. Elio invited himself down into the corner of the picnic blanket, grinding as you, Deja, and Cam shifted to make room. Percy opted to sit on the grass nearby instead, while Jamie hovered next to him with arms crossed loosely over his chest. How were your finals? Jamie shrugged non-committedly, while Elio, after meeting Deja's gaze and securing her approval, plucked a grape from the bunch to snack a bit before he answered. Suck it. Who knew astrophysics would be murder on your brain? Yeah, I was expecting that. Yeah, I don't even know if you can keep up with that. I don't know. Yes, how hard can rocket science be? Percy chuckled, shaking his head as he reached to snap a cracker in half. He handed one piece to Jamie before snagging the other half for himself. It was fine. Exams are exams, you know. I'm not sweating it too much. Probably didn't strain myself too hard compared to you guys out here. Finding an open spot on the green is more stressful than anything else. You're telling me. Nearly had to have Cameron bowl over a sorority. They were fundraising too. Dangerous stuff, man. Yeah, sorority. I kind of call them like that. Vocabulary that sometimes I kind of forget about, yeah. Their arrival quickly lapsed into casual conversation, a back and forth between the three of them, Deja and Cameron and you. It was like the end of the barbecue all over again. Stretched out across the lawn, talking about anything and everything, except this time it wasn't so much to learn about each other as it was to catch up on the gaps in between. I'm sorry that I'm speeding up, but I need to speed up in here. Did the six of you look like friends now? Did you even want to? As he listened to what must have been Eliot's 1,000 retelling of his attempt frat rush freshman year, Percy smiles gently, barely concealing a laugh by pressing the back of his hand to his mouth. Now that you've gotten to know him, it was true that Percy was quieter than his first impression had implied he'll be. He wasn't usually the first person to suggest things, and he was more than happy to roll with the punches when it came to, well, everything. Instigating was a rarity unless strangers were involved. It was an uncommon combination. Oh my god, when it comes to Percy, you hoped for friendship at first, but you ended up not feeling so compatible after 2 weeks. You've been right from the start that you get along with him. You were friends, but you hoped your growing feelings for him weren't too obvious. No, it's more like, I wouldn't say. It had seemed easy at the start, but along the way you got the feeling that you and he didn't really get each other. No, I mean, he's fine. It's just, and I already told you, I like the playful guys. But I don't know. I think we kind of like even started in the bad foot, you know. So it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes you laughed together or made the same jokes, but that was as far as the similarities went. That's when I look it down, pants gone, just straight up. And then? What do you mean and then? Then I walked back home, knees in the breeze. Ilios laughed, his cheeks warm from both the embarrassment and the laughter. His entire body seemed to shake with infectious joy, and even the strangers who happened to be sitting nearby stifled chuckles at his enthusiasm. Pulling people along with his orbit came effortlessly to him, whether it was a chance meeting or something more insightful. Either way, you knew time spent around Elio was a promise of something interesting happening. Okay, so now we are kind of like talking about each one of them. Okay. To you, though, he still hadn't become a true friend yet. No, he's like, they are friends. It's not that, like, okay. He ended up being one of your favorite people. There was just something attractive about you. You couldn't, no, see, like, not this, but I have to pick this one because it's not that I'm into him. So, he might have thought the same thing about you, or maybe he was overly cautious about getting to know you. Either way, he was just there, a part of your friend group by association, rather than by a personal bond. You hung out because everyone else hung out, but you still couldn't see yourself wanting to spend time with him individually. Yeah, I mean, it was fine when he carried my bags. I didn't want it, but he carried my bags. It was fine. All the while, Jamie and Deja were content to listen, splitting a plate of fruit between themselves as Cameron and Elio baited stories back and forth. Amusement glimmered subtly in each of their eyes, though Jamie's veneer was quicker to crack. All it took was a particularly silly noise from Elio, and Jamie coughed a delicate laugh, shoulders jolting in a moment of unguarded humor. With a reputation like campus boyfriend, there'll been some expectation that Jamie was untouchable, literally or otherwise. Watching him laugh, though, he was obviously just him, a normal student, albeit one who liked playing up a sense of mystery. So yeah, we were kind of more interested on Jamie, although I don't know how to put it. Jamie would be my bestie. I would say Deja and Jamie, they would be my besties. And why do I say this? It's because they have things that I kind of relate to. Do you understand? They have things that I just kind of relate to. And that's more like it. And that was all he'll stay to you, a normal student. Surprised he was more interesting to hang out with than you thought. You didn't know him well enough to crush on him, and yet you were crushing. Yeah, let's put it like that. But if they put Deja, I'm going to put like on Deja too. Let's see what comes out from here. He was suspiciously cognizant of his own charm at times, but you didn't know if the charm itself was something he had control over. You couldn't say that you really knew him, but you knew that at some point you started keeping an eye out for him wherever you went. That thought alone, that you began hoping to see him more, sent a muttered flicker of emotion through your chest whenever you acknowledged it. Your vision darkened momentarily with the weight of something light on your head, and a sturdy fabric brim slid down over your eyes to block out the sun. When you lifted a hand to push it aside, Elio had scooted closer, his eyes closed into happy crescents as he gave you his usual smile. Is this your bucket hat on me? Yep, it's good shade, plus you were kinda zoning out there. Hope the heat's not getting to you. Yeah, he's very cute. He's a cute guy. Very energetic, cute guy. I'm not giving this back, thoughts, opinions, but no criticisms, please. If he was looking out for you, you'll do the same for him. Yeah, I would. That's why I was saying, like, I wouldn't probably have him as just like an acquaintance, but like a friend, you know. He's just like not my type. It's just that. Right back at you. And you reached out, arms stretching to replace the bucket hat where it rightfully belonged. Elio clocked your intentions immediately, and he dodged your attempt with a chuckle. Hey, give it a couple of minutes at least, or I'll think you've hated my hat this entire time. No, that's not it, dudes. Oh my god. I don't hate your hat, Elio. Sounds like something someone who should keep wearing my hat would say. His teammate, you sat with his hat in your hand until he gave in and beckoned with an open palm. Okay, I guess turnabout's fair play if you really want. You handed the hat back over and he settled it on his head with a cheaper nod. Thanks, that's better. Not used to having sunlight in your eyes anymore? Honestly, kind of. So, what's got you thinking so hard? You, I guess. Okay. Confusion flitted openly across Elio's face, and he made a curiously high-pitched, stifled sound. This happened every so often, no matter what your intentions were. He'll just lock up a bit before brushing things off as quickly as he could. You hadn't quite figured it out yet, but considering you weren't that friendly yet, you figured it was better not to ask him point blank. I mean, all of you? Everyone? What? Oh, okay. Why did we have this awkward conversation? I just said I was not that much into him. Suddenly, the game is like putting me in a situation where it seems like I'm into him. What is going on? What? Before you got a single syllable further, please game end, please. I like it, but I need to end this. I don't have time. Cameron flopped eagerly into the conversation, looking far too interested for their own good. So what's happening over here? I don't know, my man. I don't know. Nothing. Just some small talk. Okay. Anyway, I was really going to ask what everyone is doing this summer. Not much. I was planning on sticking around Fairfield, but I haven't figured out where I'm staying yet. Got any room at your place, Cam? Don't. My folks would adopt you. All a part of my long con. Okay. Any other plans? Making the biggest meatball, singular. The last time you tried that, the meat at the center stayed completely raw. I was expecting that. Yes, that happens. Yes, if you do that. No, okay. So this time I'm going to put spaghetti inside a meatball, and I'm doing an internship over at the observatory. Not coming. The one near the campus. Yeah, I had to fight off like 20 other people to get a spot, figuratively. Makes sense. If anyone else in astrophysics is trying to stay local, they'll be applying there. Yep, our options are basically wherever a program already exists, like GPL in California or Cape Canaveral. Sorry, Canaveral, I don't know. Lame, right? Both of those places sound like solid summer vacation spots, dude. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to convince myself this was the better option. Anything on the agenda for you, Jamie? Ah, well, my dad went back to visit his family for the summer, so I was planning on staying here too. You didn't want to go with? No, it's important for him to have his time with them. My going along would just mean that they'll want to accommodate me instead. Grandson, adjacent affection, and all. I'm sleeping for all 3 months, no ifs and ands or buts. Yeah, sometimes I feel like this. It depends. If I came out from a really stressful job, I'm not going to lie to you. And like last year was like to die. The last year was to die. I think it was the worst year in my whole life. And I already passed by really, really bad things. But last year was, yeah. I was going to take some summer classes, actually, a summer job maybe, something like that. I think I'm just going to work on myself. I'm going to work on myself, yes. Work on what? Like your life? Kind of self-reflection, maybe some routine things. No better time for it than when we have the time to do it, right? Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Not too stressful, but still something you'll plan to do, yeah? You could learn from her example, Percy. Is it a crime to just want to vegetate? What about you guys? My internship's in town, so I'll pop in from time to time. Same old, same old. Unlike Cam, my internship's in the city, so I'm going home, but you'll see me around when campus tours start back up. I'll probably be back a few times aside from that to annoy Irina. Can have her living up without me. Thank you, girl. Yeah, that's it. It's sweet. So note crashing in your dorm for the summer. Funny. Even if I said yes, our RA would never let you. Summer housing is so expensive, though. Tough shit. Sorry, I was trying to remember how to say it. You did turn in our form to stay for the summer, right, Percy? Yeah, relax. We got the place for another season. So we'll all be around, more or less. If I had known, we could have gotten one of those vacation homes together. God, game, please. I'm feeling like we are at the, when you feel like we are probably at the end of the thing and it's a never ending train. Stop this train, dude. Stop this train. No, no one can live with that many beans bags other than, well, us. But we're still hanging out, right? Only if you guys want to. I know everyone's probably busy, but My home's technically a town over, and last year Deja and Irina weren't really here, so Cameron shrunk as the open invitation became a point sudden insecurity, but Elio was more than happy to pick up where they left off with a cheerful pat to their shoulder. Sure, I'll figure out when everyone's free and we can set up a thing. This guy's birthday is at the end of summer anyway, so maybe we can make a big thing out of it. Oh well, I don't really need that. Maybe something simple. He might enjoy the Perseids. We can meet up before then. Seriously, I'll put something together. This summer break would be longer than the ones you had in high school. Nearly 4 months of long, warm days on the horizon with a rare guarantee that you'll be seeing familiar faces along the way. See, like, you have like a lot of time. In here, it's like you go from September till summer. And you do get some rest between, but it's like some weeks, kind of more like some weeks. Maybe a month at best. And in here, it's more like you have the spring, then you have like months, and then you come back again. It's just okay. Maybe coincidence had brought you together, but there'll be developed a particular thoughtfulness that had kept you together while the semester had drawn to a close. You didn't deny the tickle in your stomach at the thought of a full summer spent in each other's company, now that you knew them thanks to chance and circumstance. Of course, you were excited to hang out with Cameron and Deja too, but, well, there was someone else you were particularly interested in learning more about too. This could be your chance to test the waters and dip into the giddy fables of a summer romance. Who knew what would happen in 4 months? You couldn't help but wonder at the faintest hint of citrusy, sun-painted dream which electrified and terrified you at the merest brush against your imagination. As soon as the brick surged into full swing, maybe it'll be time to chase after that vision, no matter where it took you or what waited at its end. I want to cry. Okay, I liked it, okay? It's just that I really wanted this to end because I didn't want it to leave it for 2 days, that I could still have like 2 days. Don't you kickstart on October to make it? You can follow the campaign. If you're interested in continuing support, yes. See you soon. What I was going to say is that I liked it, okay? It's not that I was not trying to rush it because of that. It's because I need to go and I cannot stay in here. So I need to be really fast in here too, which is like, I liked it. It was fun. The quick answers, quick time events, whatever. It was like, okay, I mean, yeah, sure. And there's a lot of internalized visualization of things. And I really wanted to have CGs in a lot of moments, in here. And I felt like that was really lacking. A lot of intern visualization, no CGs at all, unless for photos, whatever. And we had like 3 of them during like 8 hours or something. So I felt like it was lacking on that aspect, like that aspect was like, yeah, sure. But it was fun. Like in terms of the ride in itself, it was fun. I had fun doing it. And we'll see it when the game comes out in its whole thing. So I'm going to, as usual, and I already told you, I'm going to leave the link down below so you can play the demo for yourself and enjoy it for yourself. And that's it. And tomorrow, as I said, I'm not going to bring nothing. I cannot. Don't have a way. And then I'll see you on the next day. And thank you very much for being in there. And I'm really sorry for the badly pronounced words that you got in there. But yeah, sorry.